You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
Now I'm starting to wonder a bit, because the narrator is often referred to as he with a capital H. And there was an achievement unlocked, and it said something about bringing this abomination of a changing, scary creature to her with a capital H. So maybe the Shifting Mound is like a parallel to the narrator, but I felt the narrator created both the Shifting Mound and what we are. My mind is too weak to try to comprehend this at this point. I will have to watch an analytical video or something later.
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Let's see, continue.
You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within.
So the question is, should I just do exactly the same as last time again? Because the first time I got the tower. I'm pretty sure I followed the complete pacifist route the first time and got the tower. And this time when I did it, I got the damn cell because I couldn't get the tower twice. So if I do it again, maybe I get yet another new version.
A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says. We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them. Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade.
I'm contemplating skipping everything between now and up until the point where the narrator forces me to stab her in the back, and I sort of resist. I'm gonna skip all of that.
The blade is...
Let's see. Because it's the same anyway.
The door is dope. Good. You see, I am.
Okay. Where are you?
Slip these chains? She can't, right? She needed our help to get out of here. But do you hear the conviction in her voice? I don't think she's bluffing. She has to be bluffing, but you rush up to the first floor, grabbing the blade, both yours and the world's only possible salvation.
Okay, so I messed up because I turned around to go for the door as I clicked hastily through the dialogue. And I thought I was going back up because the door was locked. But yeah, I got a different one because I was a bit hasty. I apologize for that.
Okay. If we're sure about this decision, I'll support it. I suppose we have a world to save after all. You slowly creep down the basement stairs. It's quiet. Where the princess sat only a moment ago, there's only a severed arm, its cooling flesh still chained to the wall. And she is nowhere to be seen. Is it just me? Or did this room get a lot bigger?
Why don't you come closer? I have something to show you.
Yeah, where are you even? Let's finish this.
Your eyes dart to the corners of the room. You don't see her. Where is she?
Close the door behind you.
You close the door behind you. Almost magically, its locks immediately click into place. Maybe they'll open if you finish the job.
Investigate the arm? No, I'm just gonna take I'll wait.
Oh, do you want to play a waiting game? I've been down here a long, long time. I'm very good at waiting.
You do your best to patiently wait her out, but eventually, exhaustion starts to set in. Come on, wake up. We can't fall asleep down here.
Venture into the shadows.
You step into the shadows. Too late, you hear the quiet patter of feet against the basement floor, followed by the taut pull and sharp pain of tearing flesh as the princess lunges into you from behind and drags you to the floor. The ferocity overwhelms you, and as the princess rends flesh from bone, your limp fingers lose their grip on the blade. It slips from your hand, your one last means of defense lying useless beside you in a pool of your cooling blood. I suppose you just lacked the will to fight back. This is the end, isn't it? I'm afraid it is. You shouldn't have let that fear creep into your heart. You had the upper hand, and now look at you.
She has the glowy eyes, like the animal eyes reflecting back at you, so maybe we'll get the witch next. I didn't want to go this route. I clicked a bit too fast. The skip already went through dialogue, but that's entirely on me.
Everything goes dark, and you die.
And we might still get something new. The beast. The beast?
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
The beast? The witch was sort of a beast, but this is named the beast. What are we up against? It's new indeed. Interesting. I didn't mess it entirely up. I got something new.
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Okay, so let's see what we're up against.
A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says. Does a cat lie to a cornered mouse when it plays with its freedom? Or is it just acting out its nature? I don't see why that matters. A lie's a lie, and if anything, she's the one who's cornered. She could have gotten out of there whenever she wanted to. We should trust nothing that she tells us, only what we hear and smell. That's a very roundabout way of saying that you should listen to me and take this seriously. Maybe.
Maybe. Let's see then. What does this look like? It always looks the same on the outside. More or less.
The interior of the cabin is ruinous and dilapidated. It feels like no one has lived here for a long time, wind rushing in through cracks and holes in the wooden walls. The only furniture of note is a termite-eaten table with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
I have to give people the benefit of the doubt. So I think I'm gonna enter without a blade. I haven't met this one before. Let's make a peaceful introduction. Now don't you fool me,
No,
princess.
Steel Claw. Do you think we can talk our way out of this?
Steel Claw.
I don't think she wants to talk. I guess we'll just have to trust that we made the right call. It'll still be here if we need it.
They always want to talk to some degree. To some degree. In the tower, she wanted to talk, and she, I expect, would be the least one to talk. Now, I digress.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing what's left of an old wooden staircase. It's still sturdy enough that you can make your way down in one piece, though you'll have to be mindful of holes. The air seeping up from below is oddly warm and wet, as if you're descending into a jungle. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. She growls up the stairs.
Oh god.
I can smell you.
She sounds almost feral,
Almost.
impatient, or maybe eager. You carefully make your way down the stairs. The last step gives way to the damp earth floor of a starlit pit. The walls are obscured by an impenetrable darkness, giving the illusion that the room might stretch on forever. You brush against the wide leaves of plants that surround you on all sides, seemingly the only living things that occupy this strange underground wilderness.
My god, you can see the tail hair in her body over here. She went full on feral. She's not even anthropomorphic. Oh, and the drain hair. It's just a dungeon. Oh god. With bushes at all. We're in Africa.
The jungle is pressing in on us, hiding her from view. She could be anywhere.
Well, she's literally right over here. And this is not a decoy. You can see the chain moving there as well.
You see only a flash of the princess before
Never mind.
she scurries away into the underbrush, dragging her heavy chain behind her.
Okay, so is this attached? Is this just concealed? Because it looks broken. It's probably just concealed in that case.
Remember, she's just a princess.
Define just a princess. She's not like any other princess. She's very dangerous.
She's certainly not just a princess. You're not helping. It doesn't matter what she is. It only matters what she does.
This is a tiny little micro hint. It's not just encouragement. He says, remember, she's just a princess. She's not just a princess, one of the voices says. No, the narrator has a plan. He knows much more than we will ever find out that he knows. He wants to feed the idea that she's just an innocent princess in our mind to revert her into the princess. You're off track. You're going haywire right now. Look what's happening to her. She's just a princess. Focus. And then she might return to being just a princess for all we know.
Her shining
Oh my
eyes
God.
appear between the leaves, staring hungrily at you from the darkness.
I'll stand sated over here on the other end.
I can hear your heart pounding from the bottom of the stairs, fledgling. You're right to be terrified. I'm so much more than you.
A shiver rushes up your spine and pulls you upright. The air's shifting. She's getting ready to pounce. Move, now.
Okay, so when we had the nightmare at the bottom of the basement, what is the word I'm looking for? The paralyzed voice. The very fearful voice. The paranoid, that's the word. The paranoid voice kept us alive by pumping our organs full of blood and vitality. And now the voice of the hunted is helping us in this environment. Where?
Anywhere.
Don't you hear that clinking? She's in chains again. We're fine.
We're not. Move.
This path is already worn by travel and has been seen by one of my many eyes. You cannot walk it again. Change your course.
Princess from beyond? That's the princess from out here, from outside the world. I'm gonna assume. I mean, part of it is in here as well, but... Dodge.
Wait, what? You lunge, picking a direction on instinct. As you land, you're buffeted by a gust of air, disturbed by the sudden motion of a massive body. The princess.
Jesus Christ.
In an instant,
Oh,
you're
Jesus
bouncing the spot where
Christ.
you would have been, her chains rattling across the floor behind her.
What is that? Oh, she has the wings. That's adorable. Oh, you a dragon or something?
Before you can blink, she's gone, vanishing once more into the shadows. But you still feel her gaze on you.
Oh my god.
You're faster than you were before, but you're still meek, reactive, prey.
You whirl around to find her, and your gaze meets hers, a pair of shining eyes peering out at you from just beyond the basement stairs.
Well, now we know why her eyes were shining at the end of the last chapter.
So she's cut off our escape. Shit. What do we do?
What do you want, princess?
I want to swallow you whole. and I will get what I want. You have no exit. You have no hope. You live and die by my whims, and my whims alone.
Don't ask her what she wants. Just run for the blade upstairs and slay her with it. Is that all the advice you have? We don't even know what she looks like. Some specifics would be very helpful.
Well, we glimpsed her.
She's just a princess. Don't overthink it.
Because overthinking changes her. He knows that. That's why he says talking complicates things. Actions do as well, but talking complicates things. Literally. For him.
She is clearly not.
Why do you want to kill me?
Why does anything kill anything else? She needs to.
I didn't say I wanted to kill you.
It sounds like she wants to do something even worse.
He doesn't keep us alive.
What she wants only matters if she wins, and you're not going to let that happen. She's coiling for another strike. Be somewhere else. We're on the back foot. The back foot keeps us nimble, keeps us alive. It doesn't matter if it keeps us alive if it eventually kills us. We need to take back the momentum. We need to do something.
Survive.
Jungle, barely moving out of the way before the princess surges past you with a speed that makes her practically unseen.
That is so loud. Ow. I don't think I can keep this up.
You have to. We at least have to make an opening.
Like, the hunted is like any animal. It's like a gazelle in Africa or a deer being hunted by wolves or something. It's like the instinct of being hunted. I don't know why I get like a gazelle or a deer in my mind. It's just what a lion that this is. It's just or dragon or why do you want to eat me then?
I don't question who I am or what I want. I simply do. To act is always better than to react. To do is always better than to watch.
Is that a hint, princess? Do you want me to get the blade?
I can't believe I'm saying this, but you do well to listen to her. Less standing around asking questions, more doing exactly as I say. A tickling sensation rises at the base of your neck. Flee. We can't keep doing this.
If I run for the stairs, she will pounce me. I'm not gonna survive that, even if I wanted the blade right now. Stay alive is what matters. And even if she pounces me, maybe I can alter the story a little bit. If I keep thinking hardly, stay alive, maybe I will stay alive, regardless.
You're slow. Or maybe she's a little faster. You avoid her slavering jaws, but she manages to graze you, her titanic momentum skinning you along your side. It's like being sideswiped by sandpaper. How is she that fast?
You're bleeding now.
I think it's because we're imagining her to be that fast.
You instinctively touch your side, testing her claim. It's wet, and stings from the gentle touch of your fingertips. A costly mistake. We can't make it again. We will make it again unless something changes. We have to break the pattern. We need more time. She's cutting off our escape.
Our game is nearing its end.
We don't have to kill each other. What if I helped you? What if we left together? If you could get out of here on your own, wouldn't you have already left? This is the truth for every single princess. You have a ferocious instinct right now, but I think a slightly stronger instinct is, after all, that you somehow have to get out of here. And you can only do that with me.
You cannot reason your way out of this, fledgling. There's no compromise with what I am.
I can change you.
At least she's upfront about her intentions. She's more tense this time. She means this next blow to be the last. The mere thought of moving again makes your bloodied side ache. We're exhausted. We're bleeding. We're still alive. We owe it to ourselves to move.
Again.
Once again, you avoid the full force of the impact, and once again you are too slow to come away unscathed. You're starting to get tired. You're making mistakes. This isn't working. We have to do something. We have to figure out a plan. Don't plan ahead. Act on the now. All that matters is that we stay alive. We're trying, but we can't keep this up much longer. We have to. We keep up or we die.
You're getting slow.
You're getting close. Oh, okay. Very close.
She seizes the opportunity, lunging once again from the darkness, fangs bared and claws flashing. She attacks over and over and over, and each time she leaves with a little piece of you. Too tired to think, but we have to think. We have to move. It's too late. Before you get the chance to react, it's over. She makes her last foray from the dark corners of the room, unhinging her dripping maw, her eyes fierce and full of hunger. You do your best to dive out of the way, and you partially succeed. Partially? Yes, the princess fails to swallow you whole. She only swallows your lower body. That's just as bad. That's worse, even. It's death either way. At least this will be a faster end. You look down to see that the dirt between you is strewn with your intestines, trailing all the way up and disappearing behind her blood-stained teeth. Your legs are nowhere to be seen. You start to go into shock. The princess, bloody saliva dripping from her lips, idly gnaws on what's left of you as you rapidly fade away.
She looks... It looks like there's something happening in her head. She's looking at me. There is something changing, I feel it.
I didn't mean to do that. I still need to devour you. And it doesn't count if you're dead.
Devour. You're mixing the signals of the instincts. You have one instinct to feed and one instinct to get out of here. You're mixing them into the one and the same.
We're not dead, But you don't have time to protest her premature observation of your death, because everything goes dark, and you die. You're on a path in the That didn't work. We're going in with a plan this time. We're not getting stuck in another loop, just acting on instinct. We're stuck in a big enough loop as it is. Instinct was keeping us alive. Until it wasn't. So what are we supposed to do? Great, so you've been here before. That doesn't bode well. You're not supposed to have been here before. This is supposed to be one and done.
Define been here before.
So you know more than you're letting on. Yeah, what he said. Of course I do, but believe me, it's in your best interests. The more you know about the princess, the more difficult your task will be. And why is that? Having me explain why would defeat the whole purpose. There are simply some things I'm not allowed to tell you. It's a hard rule. And whose rule is it? Who's telling you to boss us around? We've died twice already, and if you want us to stay alive this time, it's in your best interests to give us an edge. It's my rule, and this conversation is over.
What's the plan?
She spent as much time as she could in the shadows. So we're gonna draw her out. But she's fast. And she's clever.
Well, we're on the path to the cabin or the path to the den. She cannot escape from her holding place. We know that much.
We're clever too. So this time we're not gonna let her cut off our escape. We're gonna lead her to the stairs ourselves. It'll be a lot easier to deal with her once we can actually see what she is. But you already know what she is. She's a princess. Yeah, right. A princess we couldn't see. And one that had big, sharp teeth, too. How about you stick to describing things and we'll stick to doing our job? Sharp teeth.
The path is different than before.
You're right. This is different, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very different.
I'm starting to lose track of things myself. Ground is ground. It doesn't matter what shape it takes. We'll adapt.
We have to stay alive.
If it looks different, that's because the situation has started to spiral out of everyone's control. So please, disavow yourself of the notion that you can just come back here and fix this place if you manage to make a mess before that line of thinking leaves you yet another world in ruin.
So he's admitting, he's realizing we've been here before, and he's also realizing, or he's actually letting out that we can change things as we go.
Though, as evidenced by you dying twice, it's safe to assume the fates of the worlds you've left behind don't concern you very much. Consider this your last opportunity to make things right, for you and for the rest of existence, but especially for you.
Oh, so you're trying to pin this on my conscience, like you're trying to make this important to me so that I will do the right thing, according to you.
Clearly we're not getting anything out of him.
What do you know that you're not telling me?
Like I said, I've told you as much as I can without putting you at a disadvantage. If anything, I've told you too much. You've already died by her hands twice. You shouldn't need much in the way of motivation.
Okay, proceed to the cabin. Or
Make your way down to the cabin. Your fated confrontation awaits. You know what to do.
Down to the cabin. It almost looks like a cabin on the outside, but it's a den.
All right, we've been over the plan. Goad her out of the shadows. Make her show herself. And what if she doesn't want to be seen? We'll figure out a way to make it happen. And if that doesn't make her any easier to fight, it will. It's always easier to fight what you can see, no matter how big or toothy she might be. The interior is dark and overgrown. Vines and brush obscure so much of the place that, had you not seen the exterior, you might not have noticed this was a cabin at all. The only furniture of note, if you could call it that, is a knotted stump, a pristine blade embedded in its exposed rings. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you're going to do this right. If there's a way forward, that mirror is blocking it off. What are you talking about? There is no mirror. It's just the stump and a narrow tunnel that leads to the basement. He isn't tricking us. Can you feel the wind? It's telling us there's a hole in that wall. Our eyes deceive us. Then either way, we need to investigate. Might as well get started.
In a way, I want to take the blade because this version of the princess, it doesn't seem like we can talk to her at all. But at the same time, I want to honor the fact that this last moment approaching the princess is going to be passive. I was intended to go for the most passive route this last time as well, but I messed up. But I still got something new. But what the princess doesn't know is that we're gonna attack them at the very end, unless something drastically changes. So you know what? I'm gonna not take the blade this time. It's probably the stupidest thing ever, but I'm not gonna not take the blade.
You really think being unarmed is best? I hope you know what you're doing. But let's not forget that it's up here if things go south. The steel claw makes us sloppy, too confident. We'll be faster without it. You step forward, approaching the small hole that leads to the basement, hesitating before you enter the princess's lair. Haven't you been paying attention? We're not hesitating. This supposed hole is blocked by that old mirror. That mirror isn't part of this place. It's seeped through from somewhere else. It, if there even is an it, is a hallucination. Like you said, you've been here twice before. Your mind was bound to start playing tricks on you eventually. It's so grimy. Maybe we can wipe it clean and finally get a look at ourselves. You reach forward and wave your hand over the open hole leading to the basement. See? Nothing. Tricks of the eye. No one sense can be trusted on its own. You step forward into the darkness. If there were once stairs leading into the basement, there is nothing left to attest to their existence now. There is only a long tunnel of packed earth, growing more narrow as you descend. It smells of mold and decay. The damp walls leave streaks of dirt along your body as you're forced to hunch, then finally squat down on all fours in order to continue. If the princess lives here,
saying is probably doing her a favor.
As you crawl forward on hands and knees, you're met only with the sounds of ambient earth. No voice slinks confidently up the stairs. No entity threatens violence or pleads for safety.
Oh, that's a first. Because she's full on furry now, isn't she? She can't talk, she can't do anything. I should have brought the blade, goddammit. I can't even talk to her.